Hello YouTube, this is the Satsu 5 and I got a multi-tool review for you today. This is over the SOG Power Pint right here. And Power Pint, yeah, that's Power Pint, I'm dyslexic, forgive me. It's an 18 tool in one multi-tool, and it's really little, which is really cool because I think the Leatherman Juice and Squirrel discontinued, and this is a very small, capable multi-tool. More on that detail later. But it has a lot of tools. They're accessible from the outside, so they're not one-handed accessible, but you can get to the tools from the outside. And it has some really cool things going for it. It has the compound leverage, which I really like. Those gears right there, and I was able to cut the chain link fence wire, you know, on the hurricane fences or chain link fences. You know, it has that kind of galvanized wire. You can cut it one-handed with, you know, just with a squeeze, and it's pretty easy, which is pretty cool for this tool right here. So, anyways, that's cool. And something that I really like is this 1-inch bench driver, and so. I don't have a 1/4 inch bit, but I have a 1/4 inch bit extension, and this is from Leatherman, kind of funny enough. And let's see if I can get this to focus. It's not wanting to focus. There we go. So you can actually, you know, use this to do Torx bits, hex bits, Phillips. You can actually put a lot of different bits in here, and once you're squeezing on the handle, you can't really pull this out. It's very tight in there, so it's very secure, and it has a magnet right there to kind of help line things up. The pliers are fine and very precise. I think you can actually pull splinters out with these. You don't need tweezers. Haven't tested that, but I think you can. Something that you'll notice with a lot of SOGs is the excessive branding. Brand right there, brand right there, brand on the pocket clip, which the pocket clip is done right. Has good tension. It slides in and out of the pocket very well. This multi-tool has a lot of potential. Let's look at some of the other tools. It has a millimeter ruler, inches ruler, and you get a serrated sheep's foot blade, which cuts decently. But yeah, I can do that. It's no big deal, but it does cut paper. You get a can opener, which, let's see if I can get this to focus. You can see that the can opener was just ground on this small segment right here. There's not a lot of edge there. So that's, I haven't tested this out because I'm thinking about returning it because I'm somewhat disappointed with it. But like, I was really excited about this multi-tool, and I want to share that with you. Let's see if I can get this out. You get a Phillips, a bottle opener, which does work quite well. By the way, the can opener does not work as a bottle opener. And you get scissors. More on the scissors later. And something that's pretty interesting is that you have a locking mechanism for a small knife or multi-tool of this size. So this is a very small multi-tool, and you just press that lock and it releases the blades. Also, if you lock it and you partially open one of the other tools, it'll also disengage the lock, which is something that I thought was noteworthy. And then you got the Warncliffe blade, straight edge, which cuts decently. You get an awl, and this is a tiny flathead screwdriver, and a strap cutter slash clothes cutter, rescue hook, whatever you want to call it, and a double-sided file. This tool is almost perfect. There's a few things that I don't know how quite to use it, because I thought, well, maybe you can use it in a dive kit. Now, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of scuba divers carry like a small Nalgene bottle or a small toolbox that usually is sealed from the elements, And they keep stuff like extra mask bands and just odds and ends that could really ruin a trip if your mask band breaks. The band, lay people call them goggles, but in the industry you call them mask. But the silicone band, if the strap on your fins break, just extra odds and ends. And usually they have a small tool in there. The most used tool that a scuba diver uses is probably a large flathead screwdriver. Has been my experience. So this does not have a large flat screwdriver, which is why I'm kind of reluctant to call it a good scuba dive tool for that emergency kit. But if you have some bit drivers or 1/4 inch bit drivers, you can put that in there. But the 1/4 inch bit drivers usually doesn't have a very wide flathead screwdriver. At least I haven't seen them. But so I don't know quite the best way to use this or to deploy it. You can use it as an easy EDC tool. I use the wire cutters to cut weed eater string. It works great. It cuts that hurricane fence wire. It seems to be very capable, but I don't know what its true purpose is. So that in mind, let me tell you about the thing that just ruined it for me on this tool. This tool seems super awesome until I got to the scissors. You have to engage the scissors, and then when you go to press the scissors, they disengage. They unlock and they close on you. So I guess you can, you kind of have to hold it down in order to use the scissors. So the scissors don't stay engaged when you try to use them. You have to re-engage them. So that was very disappointing to me. Because honestly, on a multi-tool, I'd rather have scissors than a knife blade. In fact, I would keep the serrated knife blade and get rid of the Warncliffe blade if I could have functioning scissors. And I know that's out of focus, but that was just so disappointing to me, especially at $50. Scissors come in handy. If you're going to cut a thread on your clothes, a loose thread, it's a lot better to use scissors than it is to use a knife blade. If you need to cut a wick, if you actually need to cut paper or wrap a Christmas present, scissors do much better job than most knife blades. Scissors are pretty handy, and scissors are not something that most people carry on them as an EDC tool, unless you have a multi-tool that has a functioning pair of scissors. So that was the big buzzkill on this tool, was the scissors, that they do not function. And that, coupled with it being kind of a niche tool, like I said, you can EDC this. You can throw it in your EDC bag. It's not going to take up much space. It's a very capable tool and it's a very portable tool. I just don't know what its true calling is. It does a lot of things very well, and it does one thing really badly. And that one thing badly, if I can find the receipt, I'm going to get my money back. It's not that it's so terrible that one tool doesn't work when the rest of the tools do work. It's that, it was a relatively expensive multi-tool, and it did not perform like it should have. So it's not terrible, it's just not great. But I really love this bit driver right here. I love the compound leverage. I love the preciseness of these multi-tool pliers. But for the price, I think I'm going to try to find my receipt, which I don't know if I still have the receipt because, I bought it maybe 3 days ago. I didn't test this for very long after I found out the scissors didn't work, because I knew that I wanted to try to get my money back and maybe buy some ammunition or another knife. But other than that, it's a really cool tool. It has a lot of potential. So that's it. And by the way, I want to put in a photo of this tool compared to a Academy store brand multi-tool of the same size as the 12-in-1 tool. And it's $5. And this is, like $49.99. And they're comparable to the same size, but this has a lot more capability. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'm a Satsu5, and I'm out.